We're continuing our reading of the Sermon on the Mount from Matthew's Gospel. And really, when we read these words of Jesus, we should find in them some solid advice. Jesus is not just giving pretty words, nice phrases. He's telling us how to live. And in today's passage, he's really telling us how to practice our faith. Of course, our faith is practiced not just in words, but in actions above all. Here he talks about the three traditional practices that we do during Lent, Prayer, fasting, almsgiving. All good practices that are meant to be good for our soul, but hopefully that do good for our neighbor as well. But Jesus recognizes the problem that some people have, and that's called self-righteousness. They want to be seen by others. So, when you give alms, don't sound a trumpet before you in order to be seen by them. You know, people are very generous in the church. I think the most generous are the ones who say, I don't need a foot-large plaque to let the whole world know what I've given. Plaques are okay. We got them in all of our churches, on all the pews, and all the windows. But there are some people who say, I don't need any acknowledgement. I'm happy to give what I give. And hopefully God will reward me for it one day. Are we able to be generous, just out of a spirit of generosity, not expecting earthly rewards, but only a heavenly reward? I always think back of this individual years ago who came to ask me if I could nominate him for a certain award, because he wanted to really nominate himself. And I said, you know, if you're worthy of that reward, people will not nominate you without you having to ask them. Do you really need to make a monument to yourself? Do we really need to be seen by others? What's more important? Doing our good, our almsgiving, our generosity, with the right motivation, and God will see it. There's a danger when Jesus talks about prayer, though, He says, go into your room and shut the door. You know how many people read this and say, oh, great, now I don't have to go to Mass anymore. Wrong. You still got to practice your faith, and publicly with the community. But do you have to wear a big honking cross like this on your chest? We go overboard sometimes. Almost in the spirit of competition. I'm holier than you. Holier than thou, as we say. That's self-righteousness. I tell people all the time that there's a difference between piety and holiness. Don't be shocked. Our piety, as Jesus says, is not meant to be practiced before others. It should be good for our soul, good for our neighbors. But our acts of piety are not necessarily what make us holy. There are some people who you might not think are holy at all, maybe because of the way they look or the way they dress. And they might have Jesus really present in them. And there's other people sometimes who like to present themselves as real holy rollers. And they might be very, very pious people. And they might not be holy at all. There's a difference between being pious and being holy. So yes, let's pray. Let's fast. Let's do our almsgiving. Let's do it all in a spirit of true holiness, not to be seen by others, not to make us feel more important or special than anybody else, because at the end of the day, we're all equal in God's eyes. Let's not be self-righteous, but let's be truly righteous and holy in the eyes of the Lord.